The story begins in Thailand, where an archaeologist named Luke has just stolen a valuable painting from the local mafia. Moments later, the streets erupt into chaos as Kasem, the mafia leader, and his men chase him through narrow alleys and crowded markets. Luke darts through the maze of stalls, doing everything he can to shake them off. When things get too close, he steals a motorized cart from a street vendor and speeds toward the train station. As the pursuit continues, Luke gets a call from his teammate Murphy, urging him to meet at the airport. But there isn't enough time, so Luke jumps onto a departing train, barely managing to hang on as it pulls away. The chase was over, but the legend was only beginning. This is Fountain of Youth. That night, he falls asleep and dreams of stealing a glowing golden mask from an ancient temple. But when he wakes up, he finds a woman standing right in front of him. Her name is Esme, a mysterious figure after the same painting. Esme claims she works to recover rare and damaged artworks and has come with her team to take back the painting Luke stole. But Luke refuses to give it up. The standoff quickly turns violent as Esme's men attack, forcing Luke to fight back. Using his quick reflexes, he overpowers them and locks Esme inside a train restroom.
You're not with Kasem.
Then he climbs to the roof, leaps onto a nearby water tower, and finally calls his team to pick him up. Meanwhile, in London, Luke's sister Charlotte is dealing with her own problems. She's in the middle of a tense divorce meeting with her ex-husband Harold and their lawyers, both fighting for full custody of their son Thomas. Afterwards, Charlotte returns to her work at the museum, only to be shocked when her brother shows up. Luke pretends he's just there for a friendly visit after years apart, but his real motive soon becomes clear. He invites Charlotte to join him on another adventure, just like the old days with their father. Charlotte refuses. She's a mother now and wants a stable life, not more chaos. Luke changes the subject, pointing to one of the museum's paintings and claiming there's damage that needs attention. But as Charlotte turns to look, Luke quietly swaps the real target, steals another painting, and slips away. Realizing what he's done, Charlotte rushes after him into the parking lot. Luke teases her, saying he'll return the painting if she gets into the car. The moment she does, he speeds off, triggering a wild police chase through London's narrow streets. Eventually, Luke drives straight into a moving truck, which turns out to be driven by his old teammates, Murphy and Deb. Charlotte recognizes them immediately. They used to work with her father on past expeditions. But when Murphy inspects the stolen painting, it turns out to be the wrong one. Luke, always improvising, sprays his sister with a sleeping mist and leaves her safely on a park bench. When Charlotte wakes up, she rushes back to the museum, where Inspector Jamal is already investigating the theft. He's suspicious of her, thinking she helped her brother steal the painting. The two argue, but when they check the exhibit again, the stolen artwork has mysteriously been returned to its place. After work, Charlotte heads to Harold's house to pick up Thomas. Harold refuses to let their son go with her once he hears about the incident at the museum, and he treats Charlotte as a suspect. Frustrated, Charlotte goes straight to Luke's base to confront him. Instead of an apology, she finds Luke with his team and a wealthy benefactor named Owen. Owen explains that he is dying of liver cancer. He has hired Luke and the team to search for the Fountain of Youth, which he believes might be his only chance. Charlotte calls it a myth. Luke counters that myths often point to truth, noting that many cultures record stories about the same fountain. According to these traditions, its location was hidden by God and protected across generations within a single family. Luke suspects the mysterious woman pursuing him, Esme, belongs to that lineage. He also believes 6 artists in the 1600s made a pact to reveal the fountain's location by hiding clues in their paintings. The team has been tracking those works across different countries. The genuine canvases carry a secret signature, meaning 6 in 1 in Latin, 6 canvases, 1 path. Each painting is also marked by a different letter, though the team still cannot decode what the letters spell. Charlotte notices that the Rembrandt they stole is a fake. Luke urges her to help find the real one. She refuses, wanting to focus on her son. Owen offers his powerful legal team to support her custody fight, but Charlotte turns him down. That night, while Luke reads about the Vanderbilt family, Esme appears again. She orders him to search for the Fountain of Youth on the spot, or she will kill his entire team. The next day, Luke shows up at Thomas's piano recital to reach Charlotte again. He reveals that he has located the genuine Rembrandt. He asks her to join the mission one more time. Charlotte is tempted and finally agrees. A few days later, Luke, the team, and Charlotte are aboard a ship off the coast of Ireland. They are searching for a sunken yacht, the last known location of the Rembrandt. The crew deploys pontoons beneath the wreck, inflating lift tanks to raise the yacht toward the surface. Once the sunken yacht is raised to the surface, Luke and Charlotte dive inside to look for the missing painting. As they move through the dark, waterlogged corridors, Murphy detects something approaching their position. He tries to warn Luke over the radio, but the signal suddenly cuts out. Outside, Murphy, Deb, and Owen see the source of the interference. A helicopter descending from above, carrying Esme and her armed crew. Inside the wreck, Luke and Charlotte finally find the painting and start making their way out, only to come face to face with Esme and her men. To make things worse, the lift tanks holding the yacht afloat begin to deflate, threatening to drag everyone back underwater. Luke fights back with courage, grabbing a weapon from one of the attackers and firing to hold them off. He manages to drive them away, but Esme captures Charlotte and demands the painting. Luke hesitates, trying to defuse the situation peacefully. Suddenly, the yacht jolts violently, throwing everyone off balance. The shock gives Charlotte a chance to break free and push Esme into the water. The siblings race for the exit and escape just before the ship sinks, where they are picked up by the rest of the team. With the mission complete and the Rembrandt secured, the group returns to London. Soon after, Charlotte receives a call from Harold, who informs her that he is moving to Japan for a new job at Carver Corporation, which secretly belongs to Owen. As a final gesture of gratitude, Owen arranges for Thomas to stay with Charlotte. Back with the team, Charlotte helps examine the writing hidden within the painting. They find the words evil and 6 in 1. Luke connects the phrase to a printing error from the 1631 King James Bible, known as the Wicked Bible, which accidentally changed the commandment, "Thou shalt not commit adultery," to "Thou shalt commit adultery." They suspect this so-called error was intentional, used to mark a set of Bibles containing clues to the Fountain of Youth. According to records, most of those Bibles were destroyed, but one may still exist. Before they can investigate further, Inspector Jamal and his officers burst in, accusing Luke and Charlotte of stealing 6 priceless works of art. But before anyone can react, Qassem and his men storm the scene, weapons drawn. Luke quickly offers a deal. He will return the painting stolen from Qassem's boss if his team is allowed to leave safely. Qassem agrees, and Charlotte, Deb, Murphy, and Owen make their escape. Luke pretends to fetch the painting, but uses the moment to dive for cover, signaling the police to open fire. A chaotic shootout erupts between the officers and Qassem's men. Amid the confusion, Luke slips out through a back exit and escapes by boat to rejoin his team. The fight rages on behind them, but in the end, Jamal and his officers prevail. The next scene opens in a vast desert. Luke stands under the blazing sun, holding a glowing glass of water. Just as he's about to drink, he sees Charlotte and Thomas aging rapidly before his eyes, and a voice warns him not to. Luke drops the glass and suddenly he wakes up. It was only a dream. Now the team is aboard Owen's private jet, flying toward Austria. Their next destination is a preserved ancient relic known as the Witcher Bible, believed to hold another piece of the puzzle. While the investigators in Austria begin their inquiries, Owen takes young Thomas out for a stroll through the city. Meanwhile, Luke, Charlotte, and Deb head into the Austrian National Library, guided by a librarian who leads them toward a hidden archive. Outside, Murphy waits in the car, keeping watch. Across town, Owen and Thomas stop for lunch at a restaurant. Thomas curiously asks about Owen's incredible wealth, wondering if he's ever truly satisfied. Owen admits he never is, no matter how much he gains. Back at the library, Luke and the others finally reach the secret room and uncover the ancient Bible. Just as they start examining it, Murphy spots Esme and her crew arriving. He immediately radios a warning. Luke steps out to hold them off, but Esme is already there, and a fight breaks out. One of her men tries to help, but Luke takes him down quickly. Esme pulls a gun, yet Luke manages to knock it aside. She switches tactics, wrapping a rope around his neck, trying to choke him. But Luke uses her own weapon against her, looping the rope around her leg and pushing her off balance, leaving her dangling from a chandelier. Murphy radios again, warning that every exit is blocked by Esme's men. Thinking fast, Luke and Deb switch to Plan B. They use a sedative spray to knock the librarian unconscious, grab the Witcher Bible, and plant a small explosive to blow a hole through the floor. The team escapes through the sewer system, eventually emerging in the middle of the city. At the same time, 2 of Esme's agents corner Owen and Thomas outside, but Owen proves he's more than capable, taking them down with ease. Later, the entire team reunites in a hotel room with the stolen Bible safely in hand. They begin to study it closely and discover an intricate pattern of numbers hidden in its golden lining. The code only uses the digits 1 through 7, a simple sequence that leaves them stumped, unsure what it truly means. At that moment, Thomas rushes to tell Charlotte that two men tried to kidnap them earlier, but Owen fought them off. Realizing how dangerous things have become, Charlotte decides she's had enough. She plans to take Thomas and leave the mission behind. But just as they are about to go, Thomas notices the pattern of numbers Murphy has been struggling to decode. He points it out, saying he recognizes it. Charlotte brings him back to the group, and Thomas explains that the numbers represent 7 musical notes. He sits down at the piano and plays a melody following that sequence. When the team looks it up online, they find the song's title, Weather in the Desert. It's an ancient composition, so old that its creator has long been forgotten. The song, they discover, was written to honor the 7 wonders of the ancient world. Connecting the dots, the team overlays the paths from the recovered paintings onto a world map, aligning them with the locations of the 7 wonders. Every line matches perfectly, except one, the Great Pyramid of Giza. That missing alignment convinces them that the Fountain of Youth must be hidden there. Without wasting any time, they begin preparing for their journey to Egypt. Owen insists that Charlotte stay with them and promises to hire security to protect Thomas. As they travel, Luke falls asleep and dreams again of the glowing golden mask. This time, a mysterious man appears, reaching out as if asking for help. When his hand touches the sand, a black substance begins to spread, seeping into Luke's body before he wakes up in a panic. Meanwhile, in the Vatican, Esme meets with the leader of the ancient protectors. He entrusts her with a special key designed to prevent anyone from drinking the sacred water of the Fountain of Youth, preserving it for the safety of humanity. Not long after, Luke and the team arrive in Egypt. A renowned professor guides them through the Great Pyramid, pointing out its historical marvels. But once inside the central chamber, Owen orders his men to start digging using advanced machinery. The professor protests, warning that this is destruction of a priceless monument, but Owen's guards force him out. Outside, Inspector Jamal arrives with a warrant to investigate. Owen's men block his entry, so Jamal returns with a convoy of police vehicles. Without warning, a firefight breaks out between the police and Owen's security forces. As bullets echo through the desert air, Esme quietly waits nearby, watching and preparing to make her move once the chaos subsides. Back inside the pyramid, Luke, Charlotte, Thomas, and Owen continue deeper into the narrow corridors until they reach a sealed chamber. At the center of the room stands a massive stone slab blocking their path downward. Owen orders his men to clear it by any means necessary, even suggesting explosives. Luke and Charlotte immediately object, warning that such a move could destroy the ancient structure. As tension rises, Thomas notices an old musical instrument lying nearby. Out of curiosity, he begins to play it. The haunting notes echo through the chamber, vibrating through the walls. At that same moment, Charlotte strikes a large gong positioned above the stone. The sand covering the slab shifts and forms strange patterns, almost like a code coming to life. Then, to everyone's amazement, the massive stone moves easily under Charlotte's hand, revealing a hidden platform beneath it. Luke, Charlotte, Thomas, Owen, and Owen's loyal guard, Prieger, step onto the platform. It suddenly descends, lowering them deep into the pyramid's core. Outside, Murphy and Deb realize Owen's private security has gone too far, firing on anyone who approaches. They try to intervene, but Deb is hit in the arm. As the guards close in to finish them off, a masked figure appears, swiftly taking down the attackers. When the dust clears, the stranger reveals herself. It's Esme. With the guards defeated, Esme joins forces with Inspector Jamal and the police. Together, they storm the pyramid, exchanging gunfire with Owen's men as they push their way inside. Meanwhile, far below, Luke and the others walk through a corridor lined with ancient carvings. The walls are covered in inscriptions, each telling part of a forgotten story. Their progress halts at a dead end, marked by a detailed carving of the Tree of Life. Charlotte examines it closely, then takes a small piece of amber that has long turned to fossil and places it into a hollow in the carving. Instantly, the wall rumbles and slides open, revealing another hidden chamber. Inside, they find an intricate mural filled with gemstones. Luke can't resist touching one of them. The moment he does, the ground shifts, and a series of stone steps emerge from the walls. The group begins to descend carefully, reaching the lower level of the pyramid. But just as they think they've found the end, the floor opens again, revealing yet another narrow staircase spiraling even deeper into the earth. As they descend the final staircase, the team steps into a chamber filled with ancient carvings and dim golden light. In the center lies a small pool of shimmering water, the long-lost fountain of youth they've been searching for. Charlotte recalls an inscription they read earlier, warning that anyone unworthy of the blessing would instead face a terrible curse. Ignoring her caution, Owen orders Luke to drink first as a test. If it works, he plans to sell the water to the highest bidder. Luke hesitates, unwilling to take the risk. Enraged, Owen shoots him in the arm, forcing his hand. With no other choice, Luke kneels and reaches for the water. The moment his fingers touch the surface, the pool begins to stir, flooding the chamber with rippling light. Blood from his wound drips into the water, which suddenly rises, swirling around him and lifting him off the ground. His hands glow as he gazes into the water, seeing his own reflection staring back. But then, he catches sight of Charlotte and Thomas nearby, their faces aging rapidly. Realizing the truth, Luke understands that eternal youth comes at a terrible price. The water's power feeds on the life force of those he loves. Refusing to harm them, he lets the water slip from his hands. In return for his selflessness, the fountain heals his wound completely. Furious that Luke wasted the gift, Owen fires several shots, but the water shields Luke before slowly lowering him to the ground. Greedy and desperate, Owen rushes toward the pool and drinks deeply. For a brief moment, his eyes widen with triumph. Then his skin begins to wither. His body ages in seconds, collapsing as the curse takes hold. The fountain drains the life from him, leaving nothing but the hollow shell of his ambition. Meanwhile, Esme uses the sacred key given to her by the Protector's order to seal the fountain once again. The ancient prophecy proves true. If the water is consumed by one who is selfless, it grants long life and healing. But if taken by one ruled by greed, it consumes them entirely. As the chamber starts to flood, Esme strikes a nearby gong, triggering the doors to close. Luke, Charlotte, Thomas, and Prieger scramble up the staircase as water surges behind them. Prieger slips and falls to his death, while Luke nearly loses his footing. Esme catches him just in time and pulls him to safety. Together they escape the collapsing tunnels, emerging into the open air as the pyramid seals itself once more. In the aftermath, Inspector Jamal uncovers the truth and exposes Owen as the mastermind behind the chaos. Despite their many clashes, Esme admits her respect for Luke's determination and courage. Charlotte, once ready to abandon adventure, decides instead to continue exploring the world alongside Luke, Thomas, Deb, and Murphy. So the moral of the story is never drink mysterious water you find under a pyramid, especially if your boss is pointing a gun at you and calling it eternal youth.